Hey everybody, I'm Reggie. I'm 21, and I was wondering if you think it's possible for guys and girls to be friends. I mean, just friends. Some say there's always a secret crush with those kind of relationships. This all has to do with my friend Peyton, who secretly had a crush on me. I found out in the most insane way you could imagine. Peyton said her hand was possessed, and that's why she kept doing these things. Hold on, before I go any further, hit like and subscribe so you can hear more hidden wisdom stories. Alright, so I was living with my girlfriend Autumn off campus. I was 2 semesters away from getting my degree in business administration. Autumn was a student too. She was studying psychology, and we were getting pretty serious. It's like I had all the pieces to the puzzle. I should have been happy, but I wasn't. When I talked to Autumn about it, she thought maybe I was suffering from depression. She suggested I see this teacher of hers in the psych department. Her name was Dr. Sapp. And would you believe, after 3 sessions of me blabbing on, she told me to get over myself. She said that if I wanted to feel better, it was simple. I had to give back to others. Then she gave me the name of this other student, Peyton. Peyton was a freshman, but had to take a semester off because of brain surgery. Just months earlier, Peyton had a tumor removed and just now had gotten back to classes. So everyday things were a struggle for Peyton. I'll be honest, I didn't want to help. Not at first. I had enough to juggle between work and school and a girlfriend. But Autumn agreed with the doc, so I texted Peyton and we made plans. But when I arrived, I saw that Peyton was a girl. I don't know why I assumed Peyton was a guy. It felt kinda strange, like a blind date. I thought about Autumn and made sure to mention that I had a girlfriend. Peyton was sarcastic, pretty interesting. She said that just as she was starting to come out of her shell at school, the doctors found a brain tumor and she had to drop out. Her story was sad, but inspiring. Peyton and the doctors fought hard, and the tumor had been successfully removed. So she was back where she started. She still had some side effects, mostly headaches and fatigue, but her spirits were good. We got a bite to eat, and I was about to head home, but Peyton asked me for a favor. She was having car trouble, so I looked under the hood. Her battery had the strength of a dying rabbit. So we drove over to the auto parts store and got her a new one. After I changed it out, her car was turning over like a champ. Peyton was so relieved, and she hugged me tight when she thanked me. I felt great about myself for the first time in a while. But I was late for dinner with Autumn. She wasn't mad until she found out that Peyton was a girl. Sometimes Peyton would need a hand or something, and I'd help. Or maybe I'd accompany her to the grocery store. Other times we'd play video games together, or just keep each other company. But Peyton knew I had a girlfriend. Still, every time I'd mention Peyton to Autumn, she'd find something to get upset about. But Peyton was sick, and she needed a friend. I assured Autumn that we were just friends, and Autumn assured me that guys and girls can't be friends. Autumn said there's always somebody who secretly crushes on the other one, but I disagreed. We argued about it for what seemed like hours before we agreed on a solution. Next time I'd get together with Peyton, I would bring Autumn, and she would see for herself. We all met up and played mini-golf, and I thought things went great. But later, when we got back to the car, Autumn had this crazy theory that Peyton was out to get her and clearly had a crush on me. I didn't know what she was talking about, but then she showed me a note with the prettiest handwriting and the meanest words. The note insulted Autumn and said she was too ugly for me. Autumn said she found the note in her purse, but it didn't sound like Peyton. She was kind and still sick. She wasn't trying to start some war with Autumn or steal me away. I thought Autumn was just being jealous. We got into another argument, and she kept asking me why I was siding with her. I wasn't trying to side with anybody. I thought it would all blow over, but when I invited Peyton to my birthday party, Autumn was so upset she didn't stay. She blamed it on her psych paper. Apparently, she still hadn't figured out a research topic, but I thought she was just mad about Peyton. Autumn ditching my party kinda killed my birthday. I was trying to include everybody, all kinds of friends and family, and I didn't understand why Autumn was picking on Peyton. The next day, things got worse. I started getting all these strange calls from people that were at my party. My sister Lana found a note that said her nose was so big, it probably scared flowers. My buddy Tommy got one too that said he had the personality of pocket lint. I asked all my guests, and it turned out that more than half of them had received a handwritten insult, and all of these notes were in the same handwriting as Autumn's. But there was something else funny about these notes. They were all written on napkins and ripped into pieces and then taped back together. At that point, I had to consider that maybe it was Peyton. So I asked her politely if she knew anything about it. It was funny because Peyton didn't deny it or say anything really. Later that day when I was getting gas, I opened up my wallet to pay, and a handwritten note fell out. Dear Reggie, if you had a cat, I bet it would hate you. You think you're so smart, but everybody knows you're not. I have to admit, it hurt my feelings. I thought Peyton was this sweet, sick girl. But she had terrorized my girlfriend, my friends, and now me. I was ready to be done with her, and I thought about telling her off. But when I told her I got her note, she had an emotional breakdown. She told me that she's been terrified since the surgery and was afraid to talk to anybody else. I didn't know what she was talking about. I made her slow down. Peyton looked at me dead in the eye and told me that her left hand had become possessed, and it was making her do things she would never do. She sounded crazy, but seemed convinced. She told me that her hand was being controlled by some force from beyond. It had been writing terrible letters to people that she truly admired, and her puppet hand was responsible for all the cruelty. She said that at the party, she was consumed by these impulses, and her hand would write a note, but she'd take it from her left hand and tear it up. She said she thought she got rid of them all, but the hand wouldn't stop and take them all together. She told me that she didn't really believe all those terrible things, but I told her I wasn't stupid. I was starting to wonder if Peyton had been sick to begin with. She was a liar and wouldn't even stop when she got caught. How could I trust her? Out of curiosity, I went by the psych department to ask Dr. Sapp if she had heard of such a thing. I thought Dr. Sapp was going to tell me that Peyton was a pathological liar, but she actually told me she might be telling the truth. Apparently, there's a thing out there called the alien hand syndrome. Dr. Sapp gave me a bunch of literature on it. Patients suffering from this condition experience limbs that grow their own free will and start acting independently, causing impulsive behaviors. Cases have been documented after brain tumors or aneurysms and have something to do with damage to the frontal cortex of the brain. When I showed Autumn the notes, she was fascinated. Suddenly, it made sense to Autumn, and she said we had to get Peyton help. Together, we talked to her and explained the condition. Peyton started crying when she realized that I believed her. She told us that she wasn't trying to steal me away, but she did admire our relationship. She said that her puppet hand wrote the exact opposite of her feelings. We got Peyton to see Dr. Sapp, and she agreed to let Autumn interview her for her psych paper, and they've been tracking her improvement. I was able to help Peyton after all, and giving back was just what I needed to lift my spirits. I also learned that it's a strange world out there and appearances can be deceptive. When I heard Peyton's story, I thought what she was saying was impossible, and I was convinced she was lying. But nothing's really impossible, is it? Not even a guy and a girl being just friends. Have you ever been wrong about a person? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden wisdom stories. Remember, when you share our stories, you're sharing wisdom.